So right here is a more complex set of geometry. This is actually the project for the wall clock picture frame project. And UVing this is going to be a little more tricky. I'm going to focus, every single piece here needs to be UV'd. This has a little wall, little ledge down there, little board, footboarding, and the clock itself has hands and stuff. I'm going to select the frame, and I'm going to go up here and click this to isolate it so I can just work on it alone. And I'm going to go ahead and open up my, I want a UV window in here, UV texture editor. Oops. I want a UV texture editor. And, well, let's go ahead and just change this panel so that it becomes a UV texture editor. There we go. So here's what I got. Well, that's kind of odd. So let's just go in right off the bat. We have this selected. I'm going to go on up to create UVs, and now this is our kind of first introduction to sort of messing with this. I'm going to go and click on Planar Map because it is a plane mostly. That'll be the most useful here. And I'm going to go ahead and just approach it with, well, I want to shoot it along the z-axis. So z-axis it is. There we go. All right. And from that point, I can go ahead and look at this right here. All right, so my picture frame is not particularly great at the moment. It'll probably help to slap on Hypershade. I'm just going to use a real simple Hypershade. There are better ones to use out there, but I'm going to make a Lambert real quick, right? And because it's already on here, I'm just going to attach a checker file because it'll give me kind of a good understanding of what's happening. And then I'm going to go ahead and select my object and assign material to it. And if we hit 6, we can see these are stretched. You know, they stretch weird up here. They stretch through here. They're not really even. So we want them to be even. So let's go ahead and right off the bat, we can utilize sort of this unfold tool, but that's going to do crazy things. So it's not ready. It's not ready to be flattened out. The only way you're going to get to flatten it out is by making some appropriate cuts. In this case, because it is just this nice little flat piece, it's going to be really easy to come in here and we can kind of double click on this. See how it's selecting all the way through? There's no back, so we don't have to worry about the back. I'm going to clip that first. So I'm going to go ahead and scissor that right there. Alright, I'm going to double click here. Alright, make sure it's all there. I'm going to cut that. I'm hitting F to zoom in on it, so I'm just sort of Tarzaning around my model. Click. Alright, cut that. Oops, I was hitting the wrong key. I was hitting G like a big, silly dummy. Alright, yeah. Cut. Alright, now, that's going to kind of work, but I already know I'm going to have an issue because this little tiny piece here, see? So let's select that. Let's select all around it. Holding down Shift and double clicking. Alright, I want to cut that piece out too. I'll deal with this on its own. Technically I can cut here and here. I'll come back to it though. So let's take my overall board here, go to shell, and let's see what happens now when we unfold it. Look at that. It's nice, it's even, it's working pretty well. Let me grab this to shell, move this on over here. So now if we look at this, there you go. And a nice way to kind of really double check on that is if you take, come on. if you select here and you size this like way up evenly. Right. There we go. It really displays. So now I can even look kind of in the sides here and see how nice and even they're placed. See? Everything's the same size, everything's nice and even. This is a very, very easy little piece to sort of set up. So I'll shrink that back down. This little piece, if it was in there, would mess things up. It kind of bend in weird ways. And it's not ready to be flattened out. It needs a few cuts of its own. So I'll go ahead and logically, the best cuts are right here, right here, right here. And keep in mind, these cuts are where seams are going to be. So this tiny piece of geometry, no one's going to really care about the seams in these little spots, so I'm going to cut that. And now if I select all these, another tool that works really well, like this unfold, is also sort of the smooth, and then you get these options down here to unfold and relax. I'm going to unfold it. See? There it is. It's just unfolding it, flattening it out, and then sometimes I hit this just to make sure it's nice. There we go. How's that look? Let's zoom this one on up and see what we get. And I gotta select my translate tool to get out of that unfold relax tool. Otherwise you keep it on. There you go. Look at that. It's pretty nice and even. There is a seam, but it's pretty small. It's not like it's going to be really heavily noticed. I would say this is a little bent. It's got a little bit of bend to it. So let's, there we go. See? Get rid of that little bend. See that? How it's got a little bit of bend there? So utilize that unfold. If you make the right cuts in your geometry, then you will have no real issues. You can kind of let the unfold do the work for you. And that's kind of what you want, is sort of let the software kind of do the work for you. And the cuts here, you know, I mean, first of all, it's a wooden frame, so normally there is a seam here. So that's perfect because it just sort of fits in. And there you go. Then we'll take these here, right? And we'll place them inside of our boundaries here. I'll go ahead and turn that down so I can see them. Right, we're gonna have a nice little painting. This probably doesn't need to be so big. So I'll put it off in the corner here. Now I'll grab this. Kind of scale it down so it fits. And there's even some better ways to go about this, right? Because if you look at it, you might start to recognize that these pieces themselves are wooden slats, and these are duplicates in a lot of ways. So there might even be some better ways to save more efficiency, but this right here is the nice, quick, easy way. But if you can find the efficient way and make this even better, kudos, more points for you. And then the clock could probably fit in here. And then it's one nice little UV. And there you go, right? It's ready to be exported.